Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bloodhaven Podcast, episode number 92. As always, I am your host, Balfour Wong. Today, I'm joined with...
Buddy.
Marcus.
And...
Jon-Claude.
So before we begin, we're going to go over a few announcements. So, unfortunately, our site has been dry on content for the last few weeks. I went to California for a much-needed vacation. And because of that, nothing was uploaded. But we are coming back and stronger than ever. We will be uploading some board game videos later on next week, as well as continuing our Vampire the Masquerade and Alien RPG shows. So you guys can make sure to check that out by going to bloodhaven.com for our content. And additionally, this weekend, we are doing our 24-hour charity live stream event called Extra Life. So if you guys want to help out and raise money for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital, we are sponsoring Tucson Medical Center. All the proceeds that we receive will be going directly to them, helping the children's wing of the hospital. Our goal for this year is to hit $3,500. We've destroyed our goals in the past, so we are hoping that we can really knock it out of the park this year. We have a lot of different games, a lot of different physical challenges that are going to be happening on the show this year. If you like hot sauce, you should watch it. There's going to be a lot of hot sauce, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. So make sure to tune in this week. This weekend, it's going to be November 13th from 8 a.m. until November 14th, 8 a.m. So be sure to check that out. But with that being said, we're going to jump right into the podcast. So as you guys may have heard, we have a new guest on the show today. Jon-Claude, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Jon-Claude. Jon-Claude on the beat. I'm a music producer. Been working on music since a really young age. And yeah, I just kind of excited to be on the show with you guys. Get some experience on video. This is my first interview kind of podcast show, so
hell yeah.
Looking forward to it. But yeah, I've been making music, ton of content working on as well.
Right on.
So
you said you've been producing since you're very young. What kind of influenced you to kind of learn the ins and outs of production?
So I started on a computer when I was about 4 years old.
Ooh. Oh shit.
Yeah, my mom had got me a laptop, and I just started. I was very very into technology from a young age. So I first started out with virtual DJ. Back in the era when Yahoo Messenger. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
I'm familiar with Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah, back when that was the thing.
We might date ourselves by saying that, but yeah, I'm familiar with.
Keep talking.
So what I would do is I would hop on Yahoo Messenger, hop in a chat room, back when that was the thing, and I would just get on there and use my mouse because I didn't have any I didn't have any DJ.
Oh yeah, you didn't have the whole gear and everything.
But I would get on there, use my mouse, and I would play with the turntables on virtual DJ, and I would be up there till 4 a.m. In the chat rooms. I was
I love
the
that
DJ.
shit.
That's rad, dude. Wow. That's really cool. So, from a technical standpoint, that's awesome. I know a lot of us, technology has been a big crutch for us at a young age. What type of was there any musical inspiration behind that, or was it from a technical standpoint that really drove you for it?
Yeah. I come from a family of musicians. So, my uncles, my aunts, they were all musicians. So I think music really stems from just honestly since I was born. I can remember back to times when I would be chilling with family at the pool in summer, and me and my cousin, he would freestyle and I would be there beatboxing.
Hell yeah.
Doing that kind of thing. So yeah, I think music just runs in my family. It runs in the blood. And so that's how I got my first, that's where music from it stems from. That's
awesome. So for you as a producer, has it always been revolving around hip hop and R&B for you, or
Yeah, mostly what I do is a lot of hip hop, R&B. I like reggaeton, doing some reggaeton as well. But I'm very versatile. Right now, I have a friend. We're working on a track. It's called. We actually are working on the name actually, so let me not get into the variations what we came up with. But basically, it's kind of like a rock, but also hip hop song. So like, I'm very versatile. I just love music.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's awesome, man. I mean, me myself being a musician, I love hearing stuff like that, especially someone who, you know, I like to dabble in everything when it comes to creating music. So like I've been a writer, I've been a performer, I've done, you know, the post production stuff. I like being behind the scenes and everything like that. So I understand like the passion behind the screen, you know, when like you're trying to put everything together, whether it's recording individual tracks and then layering it and then making that composition exactly the way that you hear it in your head.
Right.
It's something that's like super important to me. And like, I love being able to sit down with another producer and being able to talk, you know, about that passion. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like you said, you're working on something where you're mixing together rock and, you said rap or is it R&B? Yeah. So my thought process to that is like very Linkin Park-esque, right? Or like POD, stuff like that. So is that something that you guys are kind of working towards, or is it more like inspired by and kind of doing your own twist to it?
So this is more of an Arctic. I'm not sure.
I don't think the fridge likes this conversation.
We have another guest in the background here.
Use that as a beat.
That could be the intro. 100%. This is more of like an Arctic Monkeys kind of track.
Oh, okay. Right on.
I've never heard of Arctic Monkeys. What are they?
Really?
I'm fairly new as well, so I don't know all their songs. I know one good song from them.
We'll put some tracks out.
You're gonna familiarize me. Just based on that reaction, I know what I'm in store for.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on my playlist and find it. It's somewhere down, like way on my music playlist, but I don't even remember the name.
Fair enough.
All I know is they're a great music group, and so it's kind of got like this Arctic Monkey kind of vibe. It's got a nice guitar, but then like there's a part where it also has like hip hop kind of like kicks and 808.
Yeah.
So it kind of switches up a little bit.
Right on. Well, I can't wait to hear it. Well, like so kind of trailing back a little bit. After, you know, your early upbringing with producing and stuff like that, was there anything that like really inspired you, like during your teenage years, like your late teenage, like high school era, that like really pushed you forward into like your passion, or was there anything like big milestone that that you really hit?
Yeah, definitely. I want to say video games, man. I used to love.
All right.
I used to hop on PlayStation, and that was my thing. Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty. Those were my two. Like I wouldn't play anything else.
Yeah.
I wasn't big on like 2K or any of those. I was just straight about GTA and freaking Call of Duty. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was basically one of my inspirations. Also, growing up where I grew up in Florida, I feel like there was a lot of music. I mean, a lot of good music comes from there. You know, a lot of the greats.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
A lot of culture in Florida.
Yeah,
so
a lot of culture.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So just like LA or New York for that.
Right.
So, yeah, I think my city where I grew up also inspired me.
What city in Florida was it?
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
So about 30 minutes from Miami.
Yeah, I would say very close.
Yeah.
Damn, what brought you out here?
So family, my mom, she moved out here in about 2016.
Oh, okay. So you're new to the area.
Yeah, I'm pretty new, about 4 years now.
Yeah.
At first, I was just not about Arizona. I
lived here almost my whole life. I'm not about it still.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, Marcus.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was kind of how I started out. Like 4 years here now, though, and you know, I don't know. I mean, for the most part, I think there's definitely a large music scene out in the West Coast as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually excited to be going to like Los Angeles, hitting up some of the studios over there. I'm actually working on planning some of that out right now.
Good shit. That's awesome.
But yeah. So a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done much on the East Coast, but you know, I've had my fair share of like production work in LA. You know, before I came back to Arizona, I was living in LA for a while, doing music and everything like that. So there's a lot of great opportunities out there, but there's also a lot of false opportunities out there.
Sure.
So,
I'm sure.
like, I'm sure. I mean, you're a very level-headed guy, and I'm sure you can read through the lines, especially with how long you've been doing it. So I'm excited to see, you know, where you go from there, man. It's gonna be rad.
Man, yeah, and I definitely thank you for having me on the show today.
Yeah, of course.
I would love to, you know, do another show, more shows with you guys in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so to tell you guys a little bit more, there was a time in my life I was going through a really, really, really rough time. And I was working on music, though. I was heavily working on my music. I was very, like, because as a musician, you know how the passion goes.
Yep.
It's like you're passionate about it. You don't care. What actually, some of your experience you put into the music.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I went through a time, and basically, I actually made a connection a little bit prior to me going through this hard time. And this connection that I made, it's crazy. I was down at the beach one night in Fort Lauderdale, my city, just chilling out.
As opposed to the beach in
underage.
Tucson.
You know, the big bodies of water. Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
The once were beaches. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm out there, and I'm underage. I think I was about 16 at the time. Or
Scandalous.
Prime age.
Prime age.
I'm out there looking for some alcohol because I wanted to turn up.
Yeah, of course.
as they call it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As it goes, you know, want to do these things when we're younger, then as we get older, kind of less. So anyways, I'm out there and I'm just asking people like, yo, can you buy me a drink? Like,
Yeah.
So I asked this homeless guy, I'm like, maybe if I give him some money, I'll do him a favor and he'll do me a favor. So he does it. Anyway, we start talking. Just like right when he's giving me the wine or the liquor, whatever it was. And so moral of the story, he put me into the connection that actually changed my life. Like I met through him because we were out there chilling, talking.
Yeah.
And there was someone that was sitting along the side on the beach that overheard us talking. And this person, so it was really through me. It was through the homeless person helping me out.
Yeah.
But me asking for the liquor, of course.
It's through hijinks in which you made this connection.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I love that.
And so to this day, this is one of my mentors musically. He put me in front of Atlantic Records and Po' Boy Records.
Shit, dude.
Fuck,
That's
dude.
awesome.
And I had an opportunity when I was younger to sign with them to do production work for an upcoming artist out in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale area. So, however, I wasn't of age to sign that contract.
Yeah.
And my mother not being musically or contract inclined.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That kind of didn't
It's
happen.
a very big deal when you're dealing with contracts. So,
when you said
like,
musically inclined, oh fuck! When you said contract, legal shit
Yeah,
inclined,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, I get that. Like
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, contract
People like to
inclined.
fuck you over with
Yeah,
that shit.
not the music part. My mom's actually pretty good. So she put me on to some
it's the business part that's a little different.
The business
Yeah.
part is always
business
the
side,
shittiest part.
So that never happened. But to this day, I'm connected with them, and I still have the initial contact as a mentor.
Dude, that's perfect. That's so a little tangent here. To me, that is far more important than that potential job that you could have gotten, because something that is very important in this industry in particular is making sure that you have those connections and making sure that they're good connections.
Yes.
Like making sure that you do not burn those bridges down because you don't know what that person can do for you, 10 years from now. It's not about the now, what they can do. It's about how you can build that connection and keep that friendship inclined. That way, you can count on that person when a big project comes up.
Yes.
So that's fucking awesome that you were able to have, start that off from a happenstance. It's kind of funny the way that life kind of works that way. But I'm sorry, continue on with your story.
Yeah, so, and I was going shortly, like, during the time that I was in my prime time of working with the manager of Flowrider. That's kind of when I was going through a rough time in my life, though. So it also, not just the contract issue, my mom not wanting to sign a contract, that was part of it. But also I was going through a really rough time in certain things. Like, you know, I went from practically like being homeless. You know what I'm saying? I was like going through some rough shit. But throughout the whole time, though, I was grinding on music. I was focused. Yeah. Some of these people that I met had done huge favors for me. So like throughout all of this, like, you know, we bounce back. Like, so we progress from everything. So like to where I'm at now, I'm working with artists, trying to build a catalog here locally in Tucson as well.
Right. Yeah. Do you work with a lot of local artists, by the way?
So in Florida, I did. In Florida, I worked with tons of artists. Here in Tucson, I don't have a solid base of artists that I'm working with right now. Okay. But I am looking for artists always to work with.
Yeah. I can introduce you to my friend, Greg. He has another podcast. He hasn't been doing it in a while, and mostly because of the pandemic. But he likes to talk with local artists, and not just music artists, with like people who are very creative, just in general. Okay. So he's met some people. If anything, I would like you to connect with him. Yeah. He can probably introduce you to some people.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
Then again, a good connection. Then again, the music in Tucson has really gone down because of the pandemic.
Yeah, it's also it's very weird because I remember growing up, we were really, I mean, you and I were really big into like the rock scene. Yeah. Because I mean, like we played at the Rock, we played at Scrappy's before it turned into
you guys did? Really?
151 Tool or whatever.
Oh yeah. 151 Tool?
Yeah.
I performed there the other day.
Yeah. So it used to be called Scrappy's.
Really?
Yeah, and like there used to be punk shows there all the time. Like growing up, like there was a huge rock scene. But like even right before the pandemic hit, like the rock scene kind of just plummeted a little bit. There's a lot of great artists here in town, but I just feel like one of the downsides of Tucson is that there's a point where you peak, but there's not much else after that. Like without actually being able to go out and, you know, like go to different cities.
You can only get so good in this city, and then you need to venture out into the rest of the world.
And there's only a seldom few that can continue doing that. But I really do appreciate the local artists who continue the grind because it's so fucking hard. Like I personally don't know a whole lot of like hip hop artists that are still in town. Like I know when I was late in high school, there was like 12 of my friends who were like really good artists. They would play at well, at the time it was the Wildcat House. But that's dead now.
Really? What is it now?
Yeah.
Is there anything?
No, it's nothing.
No, it's nothing, they completely closed it.
Shit, I didn't know that.
But even at God, what's that? It's the place on Speedway, I think.
House of Bards?
No. It was like a really big club, and I can't remember what it used to be called. It's where they have like the big paint concerts. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
God damn it. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Sorry, anyway, I keep rambling, but my point is like I don't know anybody now who continues making music, and it bums me out because as a musician myself, it's like,
well, that's why we're in need of a renaissance of this shit, brother.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, everyone's all, let's be honest, everyone's a little, they're still asleep. Because they had to rest for a year and a half. You know, they're still in their slumber stage. You need to fucking take them out of cryostasis and put them right back into the scene. But someone needs to be the first one to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a rare select few of people, though, that I know are diligently working on this shit right now.
Yeah.
As well. Awesome. So, like, the majority of people are probably asleep.
Yeah. But it's those ones who are working that are going to make it.
Yes.
That, and they're going to be the ones who influence all the others.
Mm-hmm. So, like, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Like, I'm looking to build a community of artists, even, like, artists in different genres as well. Like, your genre, totally down to network and, like, see how we can combine. And, like, because I'm sure some of your fans like hip-hop.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of my fans would enjoy your rhythms and melodies, and, you know, as well. So...
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole reason why we started this, like our project in general. You know, Bloodhaven overall, right, is not just video games or board games or whatever. It's a culmination of artists. Like, the whole idea behind our stuff is like we want different artists to come in and hang out and talk and tell their story on our show. Yeah. You know, as well as build that connection and potentially work on different things together because, you know... the entertainment industry is rough.
Yeah.
It's really rough. But it's a little less rough when you have people who you can trust and have that creative flow with. So like hearing you, say that you want to build that community, man, like I'm with you on that. Like if you ever need something, like always hit me up. I'm just a text message away. I love working on new projects and like doing new shit.
Yeah.
So like it fills my heart knowing that there's more people here in Tucson that's like, let's get this shit going.
Yeah, definitely.
We all have that passion in us to want to do more than just what is normal.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't. What is it? You guys know who David Goggins is?
No.
Okay, well he's an influencer in some way, a very athletic influencer. He was at a point in his life around 27, 28 where he decided what I'm doing with my life is not what I want. He was 300 pounds. He was working as an exterminator in like the dead of night hours, for all the businesses. So he goes in when they're all closed. And then one day he's just like not happy with his life. He sees a movie, not a movie, like a documentary about the U.S. Navy SEALs, and says, "You know what? I'm doing that shit." And he did that shit, and he got in really good shape. He went and did it, and he actually failed the first time. I think he failed the second time, and then he finally made it the third time.
Damn.
And Bud's training, the way he described it, I read his book, or I listened to his audiobook, I should say, it is terrible. It's one of the worst things they call it Hell Week for a reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there's more after that. You know what I'm talking about, bro. He did it, and now he came out of it, and now he's like an influencer. This dude is like all about, I wouldn't look to him as like a health guru, but for mental toughness, I would definitely look to him. This is the kind of guy who's like, the last video I saw of him, he was doing what he called an Everest, which means he's on the fucking Stairmaster, and he's going to basically do the length of Everest before he leaves the gym for that day.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and he says, "This is fucking tough. This is some bullshit, but it's all mental toughness, motherfucker, motherfucker."
So he's definitely like the mind over matter type of.
He's like the fucking. He's the healthy Samuel L. Jackson.
And that's really what it takes.
Really, yeah. You need to fucking work on that mental discipline, bro.
Pushing a mountain is not easy. Like if you want success, you have to basically be ready to push a mountain. You have to push mountains, and that's not easy. You have to be willing to put in the hard work when others don't. Like you have to be able to see the opportunity in the area that you're going for. Yeah, and you have to be able to like the hard grit. The grit, you got to have grit.
Yeah.
And it's those that end up with success and end up with their goals being achieved.
Well, it's not even just that, but it's also, one of the biggest things I'm learning right now. Well, I have been learning over the last few months is like, it also takes a leader. Like, you can want all you want. You can grind, all that you can. But unless you're the one who takes the lead and goes, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it, I think that is, like, the culmination of all of that together is really what's going to make someone successful. Because, I mean, I've done things in the past where it's like, I grinded like crazy, working on this project, making sure it's nice and good. No follow through, like no audience interaction, nothing that's really great, like gripping you there. Not until we started our own thing where I was like, fuck it, we're taking the helm. We're going to do it our way, and we're just going to see what happens. And, it's been a slow growth, but it's a growth nonetheless. And that's the growth that, like, I'm holding on to, being like, because we started this on our own and because we're doing it our way, that's what's going to matter.
Yeah.
Like, sure, we're not, doing the most trendiest things right now, right?
No.
Like, we're not, like, on TikTok or whatever, doing the popular dances or whatever. But we're there for the long-term retention, right? We're there to matter for like where we are, what we're standing by. With, dabbling, certain things here and there. You're our designated meme dude. So like, if I ever need something that's relevant, I can just have you say something.
Listen. Don't need to call me out like that.
That's too real.
But no, I mean, it's part of what Jon-Claude is saying is like, you got to grind, but on top of that, you have to be a leader and you have to be the one who's going to forefront that, because without a leader or without someone wanting to do it, no one's going to do it. And if you keep waiting for someone to do it, it's never going to happen.
That's why you got to be your own leader. You got to take control of your own fucking life.
So I think
get to that shit.
And also, like, what I've noticed in the past, I've done this. I feel like it's one of the, it's probably a cognitive bias, one of them. I I'll get so involved into one area of what I'm working on that I neglect the others.
Yes.
And that's something that I've been working on lately. And
Multitasking?
not multitasking.
It's not even just that, but it's like compartmentalizing. Like, because you're so fixated on a specific area. Like,
So
that's where your energy goes.
to give like I'll be so focused on the beat or working on the beat that I'll forget to update my social media or check my messages,
I'm bad at that shit, too.
respond to artists that like, because I do work with a network of artists digitally, like online.
Right.
You know, I'm sending beats. And
Is there like a certain hub you guys use, or
no, just I talk to my people through Facebook, Instagram,
his own network
or text.
Yeah.
all right?
But yeah, it's like it's an always changing
Oh yeah.
industry as well.
Yeah, and it's tough because I mean, like I was saying, like things come really quick and go just as fast.
Yeah.
I mean, like things are trending and not the next minute, and it's really really tough. And I completely understand the position that you're in, where compartmentalizing is really really hard. As a little background for you guys, I'm in charge of all of our social media. I'm in charge of our website. I'm in charge of the blog posts. I'm in charge of the editing.
Now,
everything.
here's the thing: we
Lord.
in like we don't want to necessarily though
Right.
compartmentalize our lives.
Right.
That's what we don't want to do.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to integrate this.
Mm-hmm.
When we wake up, maybe we're doing one thing, but then we basically have a flow. We want that flow throughout our day, where we're able to do these things, accomplish everything we need to. There's a time to create. We already have that in our day.
Right.
So that's what I've been working on, because before I would wake up in the morning, make a beat, probably play it a lot, listen to it,
Keep going over and over.
Yeah. And then it's 2 p.m. I haven't gone to the gym. I haven't responded to my text messages. I haven't, done all of that.
Yeah.
So then I'm late, and then it creates delay for the people that I'm responding to as well. So this is something that I've been working on though. And I've been slowly getting better with it. And I notice it's been improving my life as well. Because before I was very, very bad at this.
Basically, you're referring to time management and shit, right?
Time management.
Yeah.
That's a motherfucker.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
it's so,
motherfucker.
well. I mean, the way that I always look at this is like, when you're living in an environment, right? Like if your living environment is messy, right? Then like you're yourself are messy.
Well, I always
just
said,
think of that as a mental point.
Well, I always
Whereas, like,
said this: like, if your room is messy, if it's your room, right? Your room is a physical depiction of the inside of your head.
hey,
That's what I've
a good
always
way
said.
to go about it.
And to this day, my room is clean as fuck because I've been heavy as shit. Love it.
But yeah, no, but like if you put that to to a mental state, right, and then you realize that like, oh, if things are a little more cleaner, a little more organized, right?
Yes.
Then you start feeling better. You feel more inspired to get shit done. Like, I mean, I am as every artist. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, that's critical as well. But this is more from a creative standpoint, like because sometimes, like I'm saying, like you also have to factor in, even if you have that going, that kind of like flow.
Yeah.
Then are you actually in a creative state during those hours that you're choosing, or that's
is it
the challenge,
or is it that you're, oh God, what's the word? You're forcing yourself to be creative in that time. I get what you're saying. Like,
because what a lot of successful music producers that I have spoken with, I have heard stories about they'll lock themselves in a studio for a month. They'll go away. They'll take like a vacation. And they won't do anything but work on music. They won't respond to messages. They won't do. But I'm sure that they have a structure. And that's what I'm working on, understanding what my structure needs to be to really create this kind of flow, ebb and flow. This ebb and flow.
Yeah.
See, I personally don't feel like I can just subscribe to that, Well, here's the thing. I also like to write. I've been trying to work on this story for years at this point, and I have trouble writing anything if I'm not inspired. And I know they say you have to power through that shit, but if I ever did write something when I'm not inspired, I will read it later and say, this is crap. This is absolute crap, and I don't want this in the story. Let's rewrite it.
Right.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I'm never in like an inspired state all the time, or when I need to be. It just happens when it happens, and sometimes it happens when I'm not near like a place where I can write. Yeah. So I just have to try to remember it, and then sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah, but I also feel like, and I guess it's everyone's different, But like for me, I feel like if I was in that position, that's when I know that I have to write. Like when I'm not inspired. Because then I will go back and reread it and be like, okay, I see what the general concept was here, but this looks like shit. So like, let me rewrite this because I get what the concept
Let's take that seed and like try to
just
work it better.
Water on
sprinkle sprinkle better water on there or something.
Get
I don't
some
know.
better soil.
My analogy is going to shit as I'm saying it, but what I'm trying to say is like, well, here's the problem I had. Like I was really inspired one time when I was at work, and I was like, fuck, I gotta write this down now. And like 5 words into it, my boss came up and said, put that away, Marcus.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times when I was working with B at the boba shop, I wrote, I think, a total of 12 songs at work.
Damn, fuck yeah.
Because I was like, it just hit me. Like I was like on the cash register, or I was like making boba at one point, and I was like, boom, like immediately started writing it down.
Yeah.
So I mean, like inspiration hits us at weird times.
It really
and, like
does.
that's why I get what you're talking about.
Oftentimes
It's like,
it'll be 3 a.m.
yeah,
and I'm not always awake at that time because I'm doing my practical things during the day as well. I have to sleep.
yeah, exactly.
So like that's another challenge because a lot of great ideas come to me at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So I find I do need to block those hours off. So like I'm finding that ebb and flow, and that's I think very important. And I think a lot of talented musicians I feel go through this issue because we're so focused on our creative.
Yeah. That's all. That's our life.
Music, that we it just falls into a lot of people's hands like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's the unspeakable understanding of like this is annoyingly like it's frustrating, but at the same time inspiring. Like the concept of that, of being inspired at 3 a.m, you're like, fuck, this is annoying. But then you're super excited. It's like this give and take. Like I live my life by a yin yang. So like, there's always a balance there where like you're hyper inspired in the middle of the night. So it has to overcorrect itself by you going like, well, fuck, I have to stay up now, but then suffer the consequences later, or, vice versa. And again, that's why I totally see the frustration that you're in where you're trying to figure this out, trying to really find your flow that really works for you. And honestly, the only person that's going to understand it is you.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing is like everyone's wired differently. So, what works for me won't work for you. And, same for Marcus. But with that being said, we're going to take a short break here and we'll be back in a few with more of the podcast. Be sure to check out the official Bloodhaven t-shirt by going to www.bloodhaven.com/store. All right. And welcome back. I was going to bring something up and I lost it again. God damn it.
I have something that's a little risque, but
let's talk about it.
Okay, so this comes from a conversation I had with another comedian friend of mine. He said there's a friend that he doesn't consider him a friend much anymore.
Like an acquaintance?
Well, because of something his friend did. I'll just tell you what he did. So his friend was having sex with his girl, and he came in her mouth. And she kissed him, and he got some of his own stuff in his mouth.
It happens, okay.
Okay, it happens. And apparently the dude likes it. That's his thing now. That's his kink. I'm not going to shame it. That's his own thing.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Now, that comedian is like, I can't even look at the guy the same way anymore. Like, I don't even talk to him that much because it weirded me out so much. And
really?
The only problem I have with him saying this is because, like, weeks prior, he was talking about eating ass. He was like...
People have weird standards, man.
He was talking about eating ass and, like, the way you can go about it. And I'm just like...
But he won't talk
but he has a problem
who like, was making out with somebody that had their own fucking...
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, first, this is me personally. Y'all don't have to get on this with me. But if I came down to it, I'd rather eat my own jizz than eat someone else's asshole.
I guess it's all personal preference, right?
I'm sorry.
Welcome to the podcast, by the way,
I'm
John.
just saying, like,
this is how shit
I'm just saying, like,
rails.
fucking,
No, I get you.
Poo comes out of there. It's poo-poo. You're going to go in there, you're coming back with a piece of corn in your teeth. I don't want that shit.
So here's my perspective on this, right? Like, I don't kink shame. I don't care. Whatever you want to do in the bedroom, you do in your bedroom, right? But I agree. Like, I think it would be different if the guy himself, right, was like kissing his friend who then kissed his girlfriend who had cum in his mouth, right? But he's not. Like, he's not the one who's actively engaging in this. So why is he so upset? Like,
it grossed. I guess he just wasn't ready for that. He doesn't know that kind of world exists.
His material was all about that. It's not like he like went up and like full blown made out with him once that happened.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's not actively interacting with this kink.
It was just a
so
story.
what's his problem?
I guess it just grossed him out. He just didn't like it. But I'm just here like, well, how do you like eat ass then? Because eating ass is far worse, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess it's all based on your perception. I mean, again, I don't kink shit. I don't do anything of that because I don't like it, but some people do. But I don't judge them on it.
All I'm saying is I've seen porn where girls eat cum. I've never seen porn where girls eat shit. All right? I mean, maybe one.
Clearly
Maybe
you're
one.
not- I'm
and
like,
that's,
hold on.
that was frowned upon. Highly frowned upon.
I don't know.
It became
Well,
a meme.
I wouldn't say it was frowned upon. I think a lot of people liked it, which is the reason why it got so popular.
I didn't like
It
it.
just basically made a lot of reaction videos at the time.
Welcome to
The reaction
internet.
videos were hilarious.
It's just everyone just like, you know, and all this shit.
Yeah, that was rough.
So Jean-Claude is new to the podcast, obviously. This is how it goes.
Yeah, no,
Well,
you can go.
there's a
downhill real
partial
quick.
structure where we have a good segment, and then it just goes off the rails.
And every time we get to a point where like we all don't know what to talk about, or at least you two don't know what to talk
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
I definitely have something I want to bring up.
Which is great, because then there's just more topics for us to go off of.
Yeah, but it's usually like in this realm of thought. So you've been warned, Jon-Claude. Kick-ass name, by the way.
Yeah, actually, do you want to explain that? I mean, like, not many people have the name Jean-Claude.
Yeah.
So, how did your parents come about your name?
So, you know, to my knowledge, I believe my mom was working as a security guard, and she was like in the booth of somewhere, like, I don't know where it was, but I think it was like maybe somewhere where you drive to like park or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And she was just thinking of like what she wanted to name me, and I believe she wanted to name me John, but she didn't want it to just be John because it would, you know, that would kind of boring.
Because it's not as eccentric.
I guess.
Another John?
I guess. And so yeah, that's so. Then she was like, "What can she put with it?" And then she eventually thought of Jon-Claude.
Yeah, I was like, Van Damme.
Well, not. She wasn't thinking about Van Damme.
Oh.
She was just thinking of Jon-Claude because I honestly don't know.
No, that's right. Because I mean, like, I've met a lot of people in my life. I've never met a Jean-Claude, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, I just, you know, was curious as to how your name came about. What about you, Marcus? How did your name come about?
Oh, I legally changed it.
What's
For
your,
real, I
What's,
did.
what's your regular name?
Michael Rivera. Michael Rivera is my birth
Wow,
name.
really?
I changed it because my father has my name too, and a few years ago we had a little problem with identity.
Yeah.
Identity theft. So I legally changed it.
Yeah.
Also, you know, I thought it'd be a better name for stage anyway. I originally was going to name myself Michael Marcus. You know, just change my last name.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother, now this is where my lack of Mexican knowledge comes from. Comes into this. It's actually Marquez, but I always said Marcus because
That makes sense.
I don't know why. And I was just gonna change to that name, and then when I was talking with my grandfather about it, he's like, "If you're gonna change your name, just go change it fully." You know, and I was gonna say, then I don't know. I forgot the process to what led to it. I know my mom really wanted me to still keep like my Mexican in my name somehow, so
Yeah.
that's why I settled on Ray, R-E-Y, as opposed to R-A-Y.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Marcus, I guess, it was already stuck in my head, so I kept that, and now I'm Marcus
Now you're
Ray.
Marcus.
I am Marcus
That's
Ray.
what's up. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I've been like that since 2018.
Buddy, why do we call you Buddy?
Because he's a buddy.
It stems back to on my mother's side of the family. Her father was called that through his years, and for as long as I can remember, I've just heard that since I was a fucking wee lad. So I just kept hearing.
It just stuck.
Stuck. Yeah, I mean, they had different names for me all the time. Of course, they use my government name when I'm in trouble, obviously. But
Do you want to say what your government name is?
What is your name?
you know, it's been so long since I've had to say it. I'm probably like gonna lose most of it. Gerardo.
Gerardo?
Gerardo.
Your name's Gerardo?
His name is
For
Gerardo.
real?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Damn. That's Mexican right there. That's like anchor baby Mexican right
Yeah,
there.
but say your last name though.
Mills.
The last name's still Mills?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I had like with you to an extent. My original last name was Lopez,
Really?
but I legally changed it because personally I wanted nothing to do with my biological father at that point. So it just became a thing of like, I don't want to have that last name anymore.
That's unfortunate, bro.
Yeah.
I have no affiliation to this man.
And it was kind of a fucking reality check because when I had to go to, I think it was either TMC or St. Mary's, one of the two, they had my name on record, my old name on record.
Nice.
So when they gave me my thing, I looked at it and I was like, why is there a hyphen? Oh, fuck.
You're like, all the memories came back.
Yeah. It's just like, well, I'm going to go up to him and like, yeah, listen,
Bless
this
you,
needs
brother.
to change. Bless you.
Holy shit, bro. Gerardo Mills, bro.
Yeah.
That's like in a Cheech and Chong movie when the anchored woman's name was Suhi Baxter Hernandez.
Yeah.
And it was a throwaway joke, but I understood why they did it. It was
And also, but it was just easier to say because I didn't like people calling me Jerry.
Gerardo as well.
oh my god, I would have never.
Oh man,
I would've never made that connection.
I can never call you Jerry. That would be weird.
I endured it for like a year, and I was like, no, just call me Buddy. It's easier.
Yeah, I like Buddy Mills better, anyways.
Yeah.
Jerry Mills. I don't know. It doesn't sound right.
Doesn't
It sounds
flow.
like it should sound right, but it doesn't.
It should not. It sounds like a generic like cough syrup.
Jerry Mills.
Yeah, it sounds like a generic cough syrup.
It's like General Mills. Right there.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think the only time I ever wanted to change my name was when I was a kid because kids are assholes.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah.
And trying to say Balfour, like everyone was a dick. So like I got like 4 balls all the time, or like what was it? I got like take a base a lot, like ball 4, take your base. Like
Oh
that
my
was
God.
I got that shit all the time. When
That's
I was a
pretty
kid.
clever. I would have never thought of that.
No,
one.
fuck them. No, no.
No, your name's cool, bro. When I first
I like it.
When I first heard your name, and I heard you played D&D and shit like that, I was
Yeah.
like, that's the name you would associate with someone
With
who
someone
plays
who plays
D&D.
it, yeah.
I was like, he
I
found his element.
It
Yeah,
can almost be
Awesome.
the name of like a BBEG right there, just like some
What's a
sort of
BBEG?
A what?
big,
Big
bad evil guy.
Oh,
Big bad
BB
evil guy.
Yeah.
Wizard Balfour.
Yeah. some
Well,
sort
I mean,
of
like I hated it when I was a kid, so like I always went by Alex. Like when I was a kid, so there's a lot of people who only know me as Alex.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
But as an adult, I'm like, fuck that. My name's awesome. Like it's memorable, but like not so far fetched that it's like too fantastic. So I like it now.
People never call me a nickname.
I made fun of him once, and I knew to never do it again. I think it was like, Balfour, huh? What happened to 1, 2, and 3? And he looked at me like he was disappointed. At the same time, he was like, I
There
want.
was so much contempt in my face.
Yeah, it was just like, all right,
motherfucker.
And I was like, all right, my
was
bad.
that how you met him?
No, it just was like,
No, I met him when he had a mullet.
Oh fuck! I forgot that you had a mullet. I never met this guy when he had it, but he's talked about it in the past,
I had
and I
it.
still can't imagine you with it, bro.
I had it, man.
What is Jean-Claude? What is your worst hairstyle that you've ever had?
The worst?
Yeah, because your hair looks nice. You have nice
Yeah,
hair.
oh, yeah.
But like everyone has like their one like regrettable hairstyle.
Sheesh. I think when it's kind of really short on the sides,
Okay.
Okay.
like, and kind of short on top.
Just short hair.
Short, yeah.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah, I can't do short hair anymore. Like I had like hair like you like for a long time, and then I was like, I need
There's
something.
pictures.
I don't like my short hair, to be honest. I cut it recently because I just needed to restart again. That's what I call it.
Yeah, but now you have a part, so now you're stuck.
Yeah, well, no. Here's the thing. Actually, he told me not to shave for that part. He wanted me to be as scruffy as possible, and I thought we were gonna film yesterday because I went to the set.
Yeah.
By the way, all geared out in my fucking Mexican immigrant attire. But no, it was just a rehearsal. And I was like, well, dude, I got this thing going on this weekend. I don't want to look scruffy for it. Can I just shave my head? Can I cut my hair? And he was like, okay for it. And, I'm wearing a hat anyway, so it's not like it's going to make much of a difference. So I don't know why he wanted my hair to grow.
Did they do like a table read or anything like that? Or
Well, no, because I don't have any lines.
You're just like a stand-up.
oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's a SAG film, so I'm not. I can't have lines. I mean, they're gonna pay me, but I think they had to pay me more if I was SAG affiliated.
Yeah.
Which is would have been cool.
Because it's a whatchamacallit?
It's a feature.
Well, no. It's not just that, but it's a... What do they call when there's a group of people working and they are... Union. That's why. Because it's union-based. So, like, you're getting... So you have the extra part. But if you were actually part of the Screen Actors Guild, then it would be different.
And I think if I was, I wouldn't have gotten the role. So
yeah,
which sounds about
no, which is good though, because now that this is an actual SAG thing, like if you get 3 other roles, then you can apply to be part of SAG,
which would be cool. We'll see.
Yeah,
boy, we will see. This is a stepping stone. Life is starting to come together, gentlemen, and I'm liking it.
Baby steps, man. Baby
Fuck
steps.
yeah! Then took enough baby steps that are all starting to lead somewhere.
Yeah, it's only taken almost a year.
Hey man, I'm all for it. Just like you said, you're going through a hard time when you found your shit. I was definitely going through a hard time when I found comedy, and now I went back into the acting thing. So it's a good time to be alive. Fuck yeah,
it's a great time to be alive.
Hell
dude,
yeah,
it truly fucking is. Like I think what's nice about having this group of friends is like I know a lot of us can relate to like dealing with depression and shit.
Oh yeah,
and it's like it's really crazy to think about being in like the worst part of your life and then realizing where you're at now and like that inspires me. Like I inspire myself knowing that I made it through that shit and knowing that even if it's hard right now, better shit's in the future. Like that's what excites me.
I always do feel bad though for those who are depressed but have no
out.
There's a better word for this, but observational skills. You know?
Oh, like they're not as self-aware.
Like they're just taking it. And at least I feel when I was, because I still get depressed sometimes, but at least now I've trained myself to when I'm there, I think, okay, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah, and you know how to deal with it now.
Asking the question why is a big help for anybody in the world. So as soon as you learn to just question everything, you'll start learning, you'll start growing.
It's not even just with depression, but also like, you know, when you get super pissed off at someone, right? Like if you're getting into like a verbal argument with your romantic other, like or whatever, like or even just a friend, ask yourself why you're mad.
Because I know why I'm mad.
Well, okay, your situation was different, but I mean, like you know, we get we react emotionally a lot of the time. But it's like if you just take a step back and ask yourself why you're mad, and then realize that like it's probably not really a big deal as you think it is. Then you can just like kind of relax. Because I do that shit now where like a lot of I'm a very emotional guy. And you know, there's big times when me and B are doing something and then she does something and I'm like, why? But then like I just think of myself, I'm like, why am I gonna get mad about this? Like there's no reason for me to get mad about this. So just let it go. And I dispel a lot of situations like that. Like I see my friends getting in fights all the time and I'm like, hold on, why are you mad? And then they'll be like, because his fucking shoe is right there. And I'll be like, okay, but is the shoe doing anything? Like, can we move the shoe?
Did it murder your lineage?
It comes into context in that perspective. Because, okay, so a lot of times, because you say, why am I mad? Like, when I ask those questions, you know, a lot of times it's because I had something worked out in my head and it's not going according to that. And I've been working on that and I've come a long way. But the other day I was really mad at my sibling because they're just really bad with being places on time. Specifically, school. They are so bad with being ready to go to school on time. And they know this about me. They know I'm very meticulous when it comes to timing and shit. You know, I like to be
very punctual.
I know you don't believe it because I'm late constantly.
Because I'm super punctual.
Yeah,
I'm very punctual.
You're beyond. So if you're having a problem with me, you're gonna fucking kill them. But anyways, I was realizing, you know, why am I mad about this all the time? Is it because I'm just this kind of meticulous person? I'm like, no, it's not that. It's because she constantly fucking does it for years. My patience with this one person is so thin that it can set off.
They just breathe. It's like, what the fuck?
Yes.
But
I'm not lying.
On the plus side of that, though, now that you've asked yourself why, you know that is the actual source of it. Yeah. So hopefully, you know, you can talk about it and deal with it. And
I talked about it with them, and they're still doing it.
They're a fucking kid. What are you gonna do?
Learn. They're gonna fucking learn. They
Truancy officer.
Oh. What was that?
Truancy officer.
What's a truancy officer?
They used to be a thing back in the day where, like, if you did not go to school, there was like a person, man or woman, would come to your door where your address is, and it's like, is your kid here? Yeah.
They need to go to school.
Then they will literally drag your ass out. And
not even just that, but if they kept doing it, they would take the parents and take them to jail.
Yeah.
And
that's like an actual
thing. You know, my mom was constantly talking about, like, that's going to happen. You know, they're going to come and, like, talk some shit to us because they're not going to school.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't even know if that's even a thing anymore.
It's not. I can tell you that it's not. I know for a fact because I ditched so much in high school.
Because the last time I remember hearing about it,
I have never ditched.
The last time I heard about truancy officers was like during my grandfather and grandmother's age.
Oh Jesus!
Where they used to like keep them like quote unquote hog tied with ropes, and they're like getting dragged by not dragged by horses, but like being escorted, horseback and all that to get them to.
God, how old are your grandparents?
Oh, one's almost 90.
Holy
shit. No, she's like 97, 98.
So 1920s then, maybe 1930s.
Yeah,
well, they were still riding horses back then.
This is Tucson.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I saw old videos of like Tucson from the 60s and 70s. Desert.
Dude, downtown, weird looking.
Fuck yeah.
I actually didn't really look into Tucson back then. I really should. I
will say, like, even though I can't stand Tucson because I grew up here.
Same, brother.
But I do think because Arizona's so young, it is cool to actually go through like the history museums and the library and actually look at the history of Tucson because of how crazy fast it has exploded as a like as a city. Mm-hmm. Like there's small things about Tucson that I'm like, hey, you're doing it right. Mm-hmm. For the most part, though, I'm like, can I leave? Like, I just came back from California, and I'm not joking. Like 2 hours in, I was like, God fucking damn it!
I had a Twitter argument with him because of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I said Tucson drivers. I said something about Arizona drivers.
Like 5 minutes in, and I already want to be back at California. Fuck the Arizona drivers, and I sent a gif of like, you know what? And someone.
Hey, you know what? First off, don't blame the Arizona drivers.
No.
It's the no-gees. It's the no-gees.
No, it's not. I can tell you right now, it's the fucking Arizona drivers because everyone goes fucking 10 miles under the speed limit here, and they're in the left lane. Why?
We're high! We don't want to get caught!
You're right, though. You're right.
Yeah, but no, every time I have like a near-death experience on the road, it's always a Sonora plate right there, man. Fuck the no-gees. Fuck them. And fuck them around Black Friday, too, because they take all the good shit.
Well, it's because all you see is the speed limit is 45. They think it's 45 kilometers, not miles per hour.
Good one. I love that.
Write that shit down. Write that shit down.
Thank you.
Go for it. So I wrote, not even 2 minutes into Tucson, and I want to go back. LOL. Arizona drivers suck. Buddy responded with a GIF that says, you know what? And then just walks out. I said, I love you. He said, you sit on the throne of lies. So I replied with, but I sit on the throne.
You fucking... I hate how smooth that was. And he used the fucking Destiny email and I'm like, you bastard.
All right, well, we are coming up to the end of the podcast here, so we're going to do roundtable to see what we have for recommendations for this week. Buddy, what you got?
King Ralph.
King Ralph?
Yeah, it's the
Will Smith one?
No, with John Goodman. It's a 1991 film where apparently it's a royalty from England accidentally dies. They try to find the next heir. It's a fucking Las Vegas lounge singer, which is John Goodman. It's like, hey, you have royalty in your blood. And they're like, the fuck? What? And then the entire movie is like trying to get them to be civilized, trying to get them into like royal life, where they're,
But it's John Goodman.
It's John Goodman. Yeah, and it's just like, he goes to fucking McDonald's and he has like an entire crowd follow him because it's like, I wanted fast food.
I do like those kind of comedies back in. There was like in the 80s they made that movie, right?
91.
It was 91. Okay, so it's still
it was like around the Big Lebowski.
It was coming out of the 80s when they made that movie. But all those type of movies, like what is it with what's his name? He was a great comedian. Back to School.
Hills Cop?
No, I'm thinking Back to School.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield. Back to School and
Sam Kinison was also
hell, even fucking Caddyshack was where he was in Caddyshack. All those type of comedies, very 80s-esque, and I appreciate them for that reason. They're really good. And King Ralph is one of them.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about King Richard. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No.
The new Will Smith movie that's coming out.
No.
Yeah, it's about Serena Williams. And,
I want to watch it. It looks really good.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's what I thought you were talking about. I'm like, really? You've seen it already?
No, King Ralph.
Okay.
It comes out. I think that movie comes out later this month.
Yeah, that's why I was like, how the hell did you see it?
He's an advanced screening.
My jaw hurts.
God damn it.
Like Captain America.
Are you going to kiss your girlfriend afterwards?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that because of what happened yesterday.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it later. Marcus, what's your recommendation? What you got?
I don't really have a recommendation. I have a movie you need to avoid. It's the new Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, was it bad?
It was I've
bad. Been waiting on it because I love the symbiotes. Like Spider-Man is probably my favorite Marvel universe, and like I don't know. I didn't like the first one, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like the second one.
I liked the first one. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I will gladly give it half that rating for the sequel. Bad writing, bad character design, bad acting.
Oh no.
It just, oh god. I saw it last night, perfect for this, just so I can say avoid it like the plague.
Did you see the post-credit scene?
Yes, I did. That's the only reason I gave it 3.
Ah.
Only reason it's got a 3 instead of a 2.
Damn.
Dude,
That's
it was
rough.
I'm so sad. And my god, how do you make, what's his name?
Tom Hardy unattractive. Because that movie did. That movie totally made him look like a bum.
I think that's the whole idea, though. Which
Yeah,
sucks because, like,
Eddie isn't necessarily.
yeah, I'm
in
like
the
Eddie.
comics.
Eddie is in the comics.
Well, I
but
mean, like he doesn't. Well, I mean, like
yeah, he's not like a loser or anything
Yeah.
like
No.
that. Like he was like he peaked in high school, but he becomes like an actual model citizen.
Yeah.
Like he's a fine person.
they kind of just did him dirty.
Yeah, well, they did the whole movie dirty,
Oh,
so
yeah.
stay away from it.
All right, good to know. Don't watch Venom. This is
Watch
Carnage.
Cowboy Bebop because I just started. It's
Oh,
pretty good.
dude, I'm so excited for the
Yeah.
fucking
The
live
live action one. I
Oh
started
my
watching the
God.
anime because it's on Netflix, and I would recommend that. It's different.
If you like anime, watch Cowboy Bebop because it is one of the best animes to ever exist.
The intro alone is enough to keep you going. That's me.
All right, Jon-Claude, what you got?
Sheesh.
You have a sheesh? Awesome.
Yeah, bring out that hookah.
I've got too many, man. I don't know. I think for anyone, a good movie is Karate Kid.
Oh,
Classic.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the Jane Smith, right?
Get the fuck out!
God damn it.
Got him.
Yeah, and if you watch the Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, you guys can watch Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. I only seen the first season, but it's good.
It's fucking good.
It's actually really good.
I
Yeah.
haven't. I have to check that.
You should check it out because it's the story of God damn it, what the hell's his name?
I forgot his name too.
It's the white kid from the first movie that gets his ass kicked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's him and like he creates his own dojo of children and like it's a whole thing about them being adults and it's actually pretty good. I think you'd really like
not
it.
bad.
It was surprisingly good. Like
Yeah.
I did not know what to expect from it.
And
but
it was
check
like
it
it was a
out.
YouTube thing.
Yeah, now it's on Netflix. And
Yeah,
shit.
Netflix picked it up. But
Yeah.
well, my recommendation is going to be Romeo Must Die.
Fucking Jet Li.
Hell yeah,
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
And Alana, rest in peace.
That's
Really great
awesome.
movie. If you like the general idea of Romeo and Juliet, it's good.
That was my first Jet Li movie.
Was it really?
That was my intro to Jet Li.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And I haven't looked back since.
He's a great martial artist and actor. But thank you guys for watching this episode of the podcast. We hope we hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thanks, Jon-Claude, for coming on.
You want
What's
to
up?
talk about what's it called?
Extra Life, yes. Before we go, one last reminder, please, everyone, our Extra Life 24-hour live stream will be this Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. and ending the next day at 8 a.m. We have video games, board games. We will be raising money for the children of Tucson Medical Center. All proceeds go directly to them. If you guys donate, all donations are tax deductible, which I know some of you are very happy about. So please donate to the day of. We have a lot of different milestones that we're going to be hitting. A huge amount of content for you guys as well. So make sure to tune in. We will have links for our Twitch channel as well as our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. We will be multi-streaming on all platforms. That way there is a place for you guys to enjoy. So thank you guys for watching this episode of the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and on Amazon Music as well. I fucked up. Never mind. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Don't forget to go to bloodhaven.com for more of our content, and we'll see you guys next week for a new episode. See ya.